Hello my dear Taurus, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between February 1st and February 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I put the astrological information for the month of February in a video of its own that you can check out if you want to in the Q&A playlist. You can also find it at my webpage at www.queenofcupstarot.se. So, I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I'll start shuffling your cards. Oh, the deck is upside down. So here you have the Seven of Swords and Five of Pentacles. So it seems like someone has fallen through and maybe have too little of confidence to continue a situation. So that might mean that a person has turned cold on you. Maybe they run away. Maybe they stopped answering the phone. So it might be that you feel very left out in the cold here. So with the Seven of Swords, it's usually a person having a really bad self-esteem, and because of that they are not authentic. So they can't tell you what's worrying them or what's their problem, because they don't want to have conflict, so they can't tell you to your face what is the problem. So instead they might turn cold on you, or just they lie, or they are not authentic, and you feel like you are kept out of things. Like there's things that they could have told you, but they are not, and that is making you feel unworthy. It's making you feel that you're not fully respected. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light, and here we have the Magician. So Magician together with the Seven of Swords is sometimes not that good. It's a lying, cheating, manipulating person, but it's also talking about the Magician is Mercury, so it's talking about communication, and of course communication is the key to solve this situation, but it might be impossible if you are dealing with a person that doesn't want to communicate, because sevens are always challenges, and here it's challenges when it comes to authenticity and truth and self-esteem, believing that you are worth something. So it might be that someone believed that if they told you the truth, they told you who they were, you wouldn't love them anymore, or that they will lose their game or their power or whatever it is that they are searching for or reaching for. So I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, and here we have the Five of Wands. So it's conflict, and they are running away, so they don't want conflict, but conflict is needed. You need to tell how you feel, they need to tell how they feel truly. Both need to do this truly, and then you can sort it out. Yes, okay, so I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Taurus viewers. So I want my dear Taurus to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. And I want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So we saw the major arcana cards of the 21, the World card, 11 Justice, and also Five of Swords came. So it seems like this is a conflict you need to go to the bottom with. You can't let the person slip away, or you can't let yourself slip away just to avoid conflicts. So it seems that it needs to be a balanced solution of this situation. It might be, as I said, very hard if the person doesn't want to communicate, but it seems like you will get help. The World card is talking about you are walking on your highest path towards your highest destiny, and you're very supported, and there might be soulmate connections, but there's also there's ending and graduations. And 11 Justice is the portal, it's the gateway. If you're able to solve this karma, you are free. So it's much at stake, so it can be worth to to get some authenticity into the situation and to put some light where there's currently a lot of darkness. So start to communicate, start to push the person that you're with a little bit, or push yourself to become more authentic, to tell people what you're feeling, because it can also be this, that you are overly nice to people and you don't tell them what is really going on with you, and you're just being polite, and people know that there's something fishy about that. They know that there's something buried and you're not telling them. So you are coming out as non-authentic just by trying to be nice. So don't try to be nice. Try to tell people what's going on, and don't try to bury your feelings and pretend like it's not happening. Okay, so I'll just tune into your reading for a few seconds. Okay, Taurus, first part of February 2018. So this is your future, and this is the now, and this is the past. So in the past here we see Two of Wands. So you can see this person has deliberately got themselves stuck. So it's like deliberately holding back. It's self-control, trying to keep it all inside, trying to behave. Also, it might be trying to win over another person by not giving out what it is that you truly feel and what's truly going on inside of you. So if we have a person in our lives that's very difficult in some way, we might be not acting upon that. We don't want to be with that person. We don't want to show them love. Maybe we don't think that they could meet us halfway and do a good relationship together with us. It's many different reasons to why you would hold yourself back like this, but usually it's to avoid something. It's to avoid conflict. It's to avoid a specific outcome, to avoid putting the dice into roll, or the ball into roll, and not having any control anymore. So this is a very controlled situation, but in the same time you are talking to the divine there in shape of this bird. So you're trying to be good, you're trying to do what's right, you're trying to make a choice here. Should I say something, should I do something, or should I not? And it might be a choice in some other case as well, because this is like a place where there's a fork in the road and you need to decide which way to go, and it's sliding doors. So when you go down one way, the other one will fade away. So it's a very important moment here, and it's in the past. So probably January. It might be something that you have been dealing with during 2017 as well. So there, and this is in the now. This is the first part of February, and the energy is increasing. You're really not telling. It might be that you want to rip someone's head off and you're not doing this. You're starting to get really angry, and it's a lot of energy building up. It doesn't have to be anger. It can be your soul wants you to do something that you refuses to do. You think that it's reckless. You think that it might threat your own like your own persona in some way. Maybe you don't want to go and tell someone that you have fallen in love with them, or maybe you don't want to go and ask the boss for a raise or whatever it is, or tell that friend that they are acting stupid, or tell your partner what you really think, because you're afraid of the consequences. So and the bird is no longer like this little nice bird. It's a raven sitting there on the chariot that has driven off road, and you have lost some ones there as well. So you don't see where you're going because you're not listening to the divine and your own feelings and your own natural impulses. So your subconscious is much better to calculate what's the best for you. So you should really start to listen to your own natural instincts, because you can see nature. Nature is totally very wise, and it has solutions to problems that humans, we are not close to those solutions. All waste that comes naturally, always being used for something else. Humans, we haven't come to that state just yet. And it's so many other things I could tell you, like how a beetle keep themselves clean, or how nature is making colors. There's a lot of different things, and this is also how your subconscious is working, just by this natural order. So if you would subordinate yourself to the natural order of your own natural instincts, things would go much more smoother. But you're afraid because it's also requiring you to go on a kind of a spiritual quest, because usually there's a lot of challenges first before the change has really settled. So when you have done things, maybe there's a lot of smoke and a lot of upheaval, and that's what you're afraid of. But if you take a leap now, you will probably land in a much better place than where you are at. Okay, so you are guided to not hold things in, to not yes, in some situations you probably should hold something in. It might be that you're in war with someone and you're waiting for them to reach out to you or to do the work. So then you're holding back to not overfunction, to not do the work for them. Maybe you don't want to spoil a person, or maybe you don't want to. You want them to take some responsibility for a change. So in that case, I'm with you. Okay, so keep on doing that. And here we have the Page of Wands. So, and here you're hearing the birds again, like from the first card, and it's not as threatening situation. It seems like that might be the time, and it's the second part of February going into the future. So here it might be time for some conversation. It might be the right time to talk things through with someone, and really both listen and talk. Okay, so it's when you have a conflict, or when you need to have a conflict with a person, it's very important to both listen and talk. So it can be a good thing to have like like a pencil or something. The one that holds the pencil is the one that's allowed to talk, and they're allowed to talk for as long as they want, and then it's your turn to have the pencil and you talk. So it's very important to do this listen and talking thing, and not just talking and trying to get your will through, but also be able to listen, and also listen to the divine and your own natural impulses. So sometimes it can be also things going on in your head, like you have a battle in the head with someone. Write those things down, because it might be that the actual battle is going to come down pretty soon, and you need your arguments so you can make yourself clear. Okay, so you can make yourself understood. Okay, so here in your past, Taurus, we have Taurus, the Hierophant. So the Hierophant in this card looks rather gruesome. It's how religion has been making us slaves during the past at least 4,000 years or so. How we have been bestolen of our own authority. For you, Taurus, it was the old story with people went out of Egypt, made a golden calf, and 3,000 people were murdered. The sisters, brothers, cousins. It was like an internal slaughter because people believed in the bull. And the bull was, of course, also the cow. And we can see the cow religion was very prominent in Egypt. And this was the time when also Buddhism or Hinduism had been born, worshipping the cow, the Holy Mother. So Taurus is really a very motherly energy. It's nature that's feeding us and being this smart and resilient and abundant and all those things. But something happened, and we had this with the one God. So we were not to find God inside of ourselves. We needed to find it through an outside authority, and if we didn't, we would die. So that made us slaves, and it was probably for a good cause in the long run. It was the Aries age, so the head, we needed to become maybe more logic. We needed to excavate also this part of humanity, to be slave to the grid. I want to say that's a song, so maybe that's a song for you. Taurus. If I remember, I will put it in the description box for you. Slave to the Grid. Okay. I don't remember the group. There's probably some some rock music. Okay, so whatever. So here you have these polarities by being kind of the Buddha and being an authority that can't take no for an answer. It needs to be my way or the highway. If you don't do what I say, I will persecute you to your dying day. So this might be something that's going on in your family or your relationship or your spirituality. Either you're afraid of the one God, that's very vengeful God, will torment you and your children into the third and fourth or seventh generation if you cross him, and that's of course not a God, that's a human. Okay, that's the patriarchal phase. It's what we went through, and God and Goddess is of course to be found in everything, inside you, underneath the rock, inside a tree, everywhere. So it's not to be found in the mouth of some human on a power trip. And that's something that's going on here with you, that you're trying to find back your way back to your own authority, is what I'm feeling. And therefore you're fighting with those things as authenticity, because you think that if you show yourself as you really are, maybe you would be judged by this same patriarchy and maybe be killed all over again. Who knows? So you have a lot to fear by coming out of the closet as the person that you truly are. But if you would, we would have a lot of Taurus Buddhas all over the world. So I really welcome you to step into your own authority again. Okay, so next card is the Nine of Cups. So it's wish fulfillment, and it's the Gemini. It doesn't give like one wish or three wishes. It's an abundance of wishes. So this with prayer is still on. It's not that the prayers or the connection with the divine is flawed or faulty in some way. When you're praying, you're actually letting your ancestors and your divine helpers and your guides to help you. If you say, this is what I want, you are the front runner, you are the you are the pioneer here, like the astronaut that has been sent out to space on this mission to heal heartbreak on Earth, and you need to say what you need. Okay, so you are in a place of authority to make people or energy to flow into your life and help you. So it seems it's a very religious moment here in the past for you, Taurus, where you both try to find your own authority and also ask for help. Where am I supposed to go? So you're very in tune with the divine here, and you should really start to vision, or I hope you did start to vision the life that you wanted for yourself. And we can see it's the full moon in the background, and we had 2 full moons in January, in the beginning of January and also on the 31st of January. So if you listen to this in January, it might be good time on the full moon to sit down and have this a little bit of religious moment, maybe meditating and trying to see a vision of what it is that you want to create in your life for the future, to make like a beacon in the sky for yourself, start to guide you into the future. So you need to know what you want, what it is that you want. And for relationship, it seems like you might be in a difficult relationship, but it's not difficult because it's someone's fault. It's difficult because you have projections from the past, things that has been going on, that's tormenting both you and probably your partner or your family and things like this. So you need to understand both you and your person or the persons in your life, because it seems like you're very connected, and you're supposed to solve this probably together. Yes, Temperance card. You need to take in your opposite side. So whatever is annoying you this much with this your family or the other person in your life, your significant other, your friend, your co-workers, whatever it is, you need to start seeing that trait inside yourself. If you see that a person is very clingy, probably you have rejected yourself from being clingy. You have mastered full self-control when it comes to clinginess. And really you should show more clinginess. Probably you should show people more that you need them and that you need their help, and show more openness towards them, that you don't have to be this superior person that's show everyone the way. You can also ask for direction. You don't always have to be the one with the answers. You could be the one with the question. So that's one thing, and it can be a lot of things, different things that you deal with another person. Maybe they're not clingy at all. Maybe they they run away from you constantly, and then it might be that you need to look at this in your own life, that you rather run away from a person than actually solve a conflict. So take in your shadow, check out for the projections. It's nice projections here. When you are in a relationship with another person, you can clearly see what's going on inside of you that's currently hidden from your own vision. Your shadow is always projected out in your outside world, so every difficult person in your surrounding might be how you are treating yourself in a very difficult way, or things that you hide with yourself that you don't want to. When you have tied yourself back like this, you're holding back something, and it's coming out in the world as your shadow. So look and look and look and listen and listen and listen. Try to figure out what's going on here. So lovers. Okay, so you had this magical spiritual moment in your relationship, where you probably saw your own shadow. It was some kind of opening where you were able to see that, oh God, I have married my own shadow, or this person is truly reflecting my shadow, or both those cards or all these cards is talking about very strong attraction between people. So and it might sometimes come out as being very irritated at someone. It's two sides of the same coin. So either you are in love with them, or it's on the borderline to hate, or being really like fed up with someone or irritated at them. So it just showed this very high energy that's it wants to drive you over the edge, so to speak. So you will transform in some way and take in this what is yours. So for example, if you're abandoned by your significant other, you're probably supposed to take in, if you're abandoned by your female girlfriend, you're supposed to take in your feminine side. You have abandoned your own feminine side. Or if there's a masculine person, maybe you need to take in your masculine side and become more, taking better care of yourself, becoming a better father for yourself. Maybe there's different issues from the home that can make projections in your relationship that wants to be seen. They don't want to mess with your head. They want to be seen. So here we have, going back to this feminine goddess worshipping religions of Egypt and India, showing the cow being this this motherly figure that gives her all, gives them, first she gives life, she has it inside her own body, and she gives of her own blood to feed it, and then she gives of her milk, and eventually she might even give her life for other people to be able to live. Sorry. And I think I have a little bit of sorrow here in my my throat. I'm still working with this. You can check out my dealing with pain video. It's probably something similar that you're dealing with here, since this cow shows up here. Unconditional love. She's green. This is unconditional love, but in this case she almost looked like the Wicked Witch from the north, or someone that's very envious. So it might be that, again, if you're envious at something, or you really want some, you see that someone has something that's, you know, it's greener there. It's usually, it's your goal, it's your wish. So it can also be a way to see, don't, if you're very, feel like a very jealous person, you should just look what is it that you are jealous at. It's probably just your soul telling you that you want this, okay? You want to have this in your life. Put some effort into getting it, okay? Ask for it, pray for it, envision it, dream it forth. It's connected back to the Seven of Swords. You don't think that it's for you, like, no, this person can have this, but I can't. I cannot. But look at this row. It's very beautiful. So even if it's like, it can feel like a big struggle, is actually something like being put into the right place. It's just like a puzzle being put into the right place. So I don't see so much. I see that you're dealing with another person, but I can't really see who it might be. It mostly looks like you're dealing with yourself internally, and it's just mirroring in the outside world. And so I think you're starting to integrate more and more of yourself, and, you know, loosen the reins a little bit. This is like holding wild horses, and maybe you're losing up the grip and starting to love whatever you are. You don't have to pretend that you're someone else. Okay. So that was in the past, and it seems like you have gone through a beautiful spiritual transformation where you started to really integrate everything about you, like a scientist, but in this very smart, natural way, just accepting whatever is inside of you and digesting it, and therefore becoming it. So just looking, just seeing and feeling, that is enough to do this work, to integrate whatever it is you need to integrate. It's going by natural way, like food digestion. Okay, and here we have the Now, and we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is a very protective card. You might have been hurt in some way, and you have taken a very stiff protection. Like you can see her, she is protecting her heart chakra and protecting all her, like you see inside here, it's our weak spot, and she's protecting it, and she also had this warrior face. So I think it's go back to this old karma when the divine feminine became like food. If we can say that. It was like, it started to become resources. Instead of being the goddess of everything, it became resources. It became something you could own. And Taurus, you are earth, you are nature, you are the farmer, you are the healer, you are the resource. So it's natural that you became very scared, and people seems out to get you. They want to excavate you or explore you or use you and abuse you in different ways, and steal your power maybe. So you have learned your lesson well. So you have a hard time lowering your guard. You can see this 9 of Wands. You have probably been persecuted in many different ways, shapes and forms, and I said it to some of the other sign. The most obvious here is, of course, being burned at stake. It was very popular during this patriarchal time to hang people up on like pillars, or burn them, or stake them, or so. It's a lot with these wands here, and we can see with this green girl here, she's hiding the moon behind her back. She's hiding her femininity. She's hiding her feminine powers and pretending to be subordinate, but really you shouldn't anymore, because here's the full moon, and it's time for you to become your true self. And it's 9. You have 9 here. 9, it's connected to the Hermit, Virgo. So it's about going your own way, becoming your own authority, making revolution against the old, to find an even deeper truth, going even deeper and deeper and deeper. So you are kind of crystallizing out who you are and what you are supposed to become. So it's just you need to follow yourself here. Okay, and here we have the 10 of Swords. So 9 of Cups. Might be a love story here that has gone wrong, or it's not wrong really, because the Ten of Swords just say that the old ways that you have been protecting yourself needs to go. Your old survival skills, the old way how you have survived. For example, if you grow up as an orphan person, you will be very self-reliant and you won't trust anyone else. In a love relationship, that kind of behavior needs to go, okay? You need to start to overcome that and start to trust other people. In other case, you won't be able to find happiness together with other people. That's just one example. You have those survival skills for a reason, because you got very hurt. And it seems like it's about time to revive some of them, and maybe start to put your foot down and say enough is enough. And rather sacrifice a situation than yourself, but also to always leave a door open for giving up your survival skills and trying something else. So even if you want to, you have your reason to have your boundaries and be guarded, you can always look for reasons to lower your guard and let someone in, because that is what's creating your future. Because in other case you will just stay the same, forever the same. You need to sometimes lower your guard and let something into your life and make a jump or try something. So always look for the opportunity to do something in another way, not to kind of question yourself and maybe I did it all wrong. Oh, this dread, shame on me. No, don't go that road. It's more like maybe there's a way I haven't seen just yet. There's a truth today, but there's truth coming tomorrow, and another truth coming next day when you have experienced more, so you know more. So knowledge is always expanding. We have the Temperance card here. Temperance is going out in the world, being the scientist, experience a lot of things, and then putting it into the human library and going out again and putting it in and going out. So it's the whole thing from knowing, acting like you know everything, and then you come to the hermit stage a little bit later and you question everything, and then with the Temperance card you have reached yet another truth and you're putting it in your library. You found out like it was a new eureka moment, and you put it back in your knowledge. So it might be that it's time for some kind of eureka moment when it comes to how you have defended yourself. You might have defended yourself by acting holier than holy, like there's nothing wrong with me, no one can tell me what to do, I'm always the teacher, because the Hierophant is the teacher, it's the spiritual teacher. So you might have a great spiritual ego, and you don't want to let that go by asking someone else for help or showing that you don't know everything. So that might be a survival skill that needs to go. Can be different things. Here I have the Knight of Pentacles, that's Taurus. So you can see you're a little bit shielded, you're a little bit guarded, and you're also thinking a lot about the future, storing things. And we have the green here with the nuts, so showing unconditional love from nature, from your own inner nature. And this is so wonderful, because Temperance card and the Knight of Pentacles together, it shows like a person with a plan. Okay, it's just a plan. It's starting to crystallize, but it's a plan, and it's a plan that's solid. It's something that you can do, you can work towards for the long haul. So it's something not just, you know, interesting idea that just goes away. This is something solid, something you can build on. So it's something here starting to grow. It's like the farmer putting the seed to the ground, and with those cards it will start to grow. So it's your vision. It's you that has created this moment in time where you can start working towards what you're visioning. But first it seems like you need to leave some survival skills in the back burner, or abandon it altogether, or at least one or two of those, so you're not so guarded anymore when you're going to step out into this new thing, because it might be you might be very scared to fail. So with the Seven of Swords, it's like you don't even try, because you don't want to face failure, but failure is killing the ego, and doing a lot of mistakes is giving you more experience, so you will be even better on manifesting what you want. So for example, if you write a book and it's refused and you may get some criticism, you can work on that criticism and see, okay, so how can I better my ways? And you rewrite the book and you give it to another publisher maybe, or the same or many publisher, and you might get more criticism, and you rework the book again, and then you throw it out there again, and maybe then it's taking, but it's like for the long haul, not giving up just because there's some resistance, because the resistance make us jump to hoops. It make us like stretch ourselves to our limits and make us perform much better. So we are here, we have a mission, so it's not, if you don't even try, you will never fulfill that mission. But here it seems like you give up this with you don't want to lose your face, and you are ready to now lose your face and to have some adventure, even if it's like a cautious adventure, you know, just putting your foot outside the gated community here. And here we have the moon, and it comes underneath the lovers, so it's something interesting happening here. It's some kind of illusions, it's these projections again, the things that you don't see with yourself, you see them with other people. And it's also like you need to do something scary, you need to face your fears, you need to do the things that you fear the most, and your relationships can help you by showing what that might be. Okay, what is it that you're most afraid of when it comes to your relationships? Is it that you are going to be like someone will see you for who you really are and think less of you, or is it that if they know you, they wouldn't love you that much? Or is it abandonment issues? Is it that if you're not loyal and truthful in the way that they want, they will abandon you? So you need to work a little bit on the self-love department here. That will take you through any kind of challenge like this, where you need to go through the darkness and the valley of death to face your fears. Face your fears. When you face your fears, you overcome them, and you come out on the other side, and fears are not holding you back anymore. So it's like you need to have a little bit therapy with yourself. I was not afraid of snakes when I was a little child, but when I became a teenager, I became afraid of snakes. And I have, through my healing years here, started to pet snakes. So some days I'm not afraid of them at all, and sometimes I scream when I see like a stick on the ground. So and snakes are change. They are also snakes are also seeing when a person is not nice. Okay, the snakes in the paradise, you know. So I have this ability to see the best in people because I see their soul. I don't see the person that they are here on earth. So I can be a little bit naive, and this is also what I need to learn from the snake, to be less naive and to see what's really there, even if it's really scary. So it can be different things that you are scared of, as I said. Common is animals, usually small animals, like wasps or spiders. Wasps, then you're afraid of conflict. Spiders, you're afraid of your own destiny. So figure out what your fear is and face it head on. Start to pet the snake. Okay, and here we have the Eight of Pentacles, and you see it's making an arch here. We can see the arch is also here, so you're building on something strong for the future. And it's also like bridges, and it's connecting you with other people. It's connecting you with who you truly are inside of yourself, and that is making you become more radiant, like a pregnant woman. You will radiate this like glow with you, because you love yourself, you respect yourself, you love everything about you. So the Eight of Pentacles is when you do something for the 800 times, and you have a lot of experience because you have done it in 8,000 other lives, maybe even more than that. Sorry for the missed math, but it's like you have done it a lot of times. And it's saying 8 because 8 is an eternity symbol, and this is 8. So you have done it and done it again and again and again and again, and you have gotten a lot of experience with this. So if you do it now, you face your fears, you do this, what you are called to do, and you work on it like rather solid with self-love and not any running away or trying to flee or avoid or deflect or project, but actually taking responsibility for it and stay with it. It seems very healthy. It seems like you can fix something that is broken. It seems like you can heal something. Maybe your great love, or yourself, your own inner being, or it might be what you're working on. Maybe also this with money can solve for you, if you because it's like you're holding your back from failure, then you can't have success either. So here it seems like if you face your fear, success might be at your door, Taurus. Okay, so that was your now. So first part of February. This is the second part, maybe going on into Mars as well. And here you have the Four of Swords. So this is your comfort zone where you stay and you don't move. It can be a good thing here, because we see here that you have gone through something traumatic, and you have also been a little bit killed here. So it might be a good idea to kind of lay here and just figuring things out, digesting things. You don't have to think so much, just feel more. You have this person has the candle there in the shoe, so figuring out what's the next step could be just feeling what's the next step, just lying there. And the wolves here, they are waiting for you to take some action. And this is the divine masculine in its wild man shape, so it's very powerful. It's also very it's very connected to your ancestors and to your family. So people are important here for you. So you can't just skip and say, oh, hell is other people, and skip them. They are important for you, since you have the wolf here. You can't go on without them. You need them in your life. So with Four of Swords, you can sometimes want to sacrifice the situations in your life because it's too much conflict, it's too much of a burden, but don't. I think you have the answers inside of your relationship. So if you don't give up, but actually keep on maybe communicating instead, because here it's a little bit of a blocked communication. It's more like, well, I give up. I won't do. I won't take another step. So it might be like there's someone giving up on you too. Maybe you want to work together and do all this, like you're hopped up on, you want to do this work right now, but someone else is kind of avoiding. So that might be a problem. It might be an air or fire sign. We have water here as well. A lot of fire. And here you have the Three of Cups. So Three of Cups is the Holy Trinity. So this is the kind of situation you have with people like your best friends. You would never be disloyal towards them, or like your children, or your elderly parents, or someone that you have this deep loyalty to, and this deep love connection from the source and beyond. So it's like a soulmate connection, and it's Holy Trinity. When you and someone else work on a relationship together, you build like a third entity, like this relationship. So you build on something that's greater than yourself, okay? And it's love, and love you can actually take with you when you die, and also the experience that you have together with people. But it seems like there's a little bit trouble in paradise. And since we have the Ten of Swords between the Nine of Cups and this Three of Cups, so it might be a temporary breakup, or a temporary, like you really feel like you give up on your partner, or they feel like they give up on you. But it seems like it's temporary. With the Four of Swords, it might be like a situation where you just go back, you go into some silent treatment, but then maybe you remember that you love them and you still want to work for the long haul for this situation. So they are part of your soul group. You can't give up on them. Okay. And next card here is the Chariot. So the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles. It's even more. It's so good, this thing here in the middle, center in your reading, showing you Taurus 7, 14. 7 is half of 14. So this is when you get the show on the road. It's when you take in your both opposite forces inside of you and you get on with it, some action, okay? You publish that book, or you at least start to write it. So you do something with your plans. You manifest them in the real world. And this is Cancer and Sagittarius. So you're dragging your Cancer-y behind out in the world. So Cancer is very like this, homey, wants to have things as they have always been, doesn't want to risk so much. But in love, yes, this is also Cancer here. So when it comes to love, Cancer can risk everything, but they rather stay at home doing that. So you have both those energies, and it's dragging you out of the home and into this where you are fearful that you're not, maybe not good enough, that something with you is faulty, but it's not. It's actually you are perfectly flawed. So you're supposed to be who you are, and like that is what's making you such an interesting person. Not that you are a perfect person would be yuck, it wouldn't be nice, it would be like a robot. We don't want robots, we are humans. Okay, and here we have an Ace of Pentacles, so it comes in the same position that Libra had it, but for Libra it seemed like they would give up on something to go on hell alone, because hell is other people. But for you, hopefully something else, because this is more cooperation. They had the 9 of coins here, you had the 8 of cups here, 8 of coins. 8 of coins is much better card. It's about cooperation. 9 of coins is like, well, it's like a little bit like this, but more lonely. It's taking good care of yourself. So for both you and Libra, it seems like you need to learn to take very good care of yourself to also be able to give in relationships. And here you have your wish, and here it's a chance. So the divine is answering you immediately with a chance to do what it is that you want, but you might be blind for those chances because you have the moon here. So you might feel like, you might laugh a little bit. Oh, see, here comes a commercial for giving out your own book, and you laugh at it a little bit because this is what you want, but you know that you're not going to get it because you're afraid. So you just laugh it away. This chance is what I'm feeling because of the block, the fear. Okay. And here you have a 4 of Cups. So this is a little bit like Libra. They are meditating on something, and meditating and figuring it out, and then they are old and gray. So don't do this, okay? It's good in one way, because with the 4 of Cups here, you start with this digesting of this fear. So that's might be as far as you can go at this road for right now, like when we are talking about February. You're starting to digest your fear and stay with fear. And you also have the sign for a crab there, Cancer, and this very fruitful belly. So you see the difference between this very guarded belly and the not so guarded belly. So I think you are starting to digest whatever fear it is that's scaring the living hell out of you. So look at also if you have digestion problems, probably fear, you're holding yourself back, you don't allow yourself to step forward because you fear something, you fear it and become like, yes, stomach problems. We all know that from being nervous. So constantly being nervous can cause digestion problems. And here it seems like you are supposed to digest this fear and be, you know, when you have digested and integrated, you are not fearful anymore, and your digestion problems will be a memory. Okay, so just stay with the fear here, with the pain. You can check out my dealing with pain video. It's also in the Q&A section. And here you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is messages, and it's like you want out in the world, you want to have adventure, and we see this also with the Chariot here. And the Ace of Pentacles is a chance to doing so. But with the Force, it's the Emperor. It's connected to the Emperor, and it's these two forces are. All 4s are very square, so you're staying in your comfort zone a little bit. But maybe you just need to see what you are scared of and start to digest it. Maybe you're not really ready to take the big leap just yet, but don't lose too many chances while sitting there and digesting, okay? So I'll take a card for you, Taurus, from the Wisdom of the Oracle divination cards. So, flexible. Yes, you need to be flexible. This for me is very Sagittarius. It's like a person being a tree and having the roots down in the soil, but yet being able to face whatever storm comes along. So you need to work on being more resilient, like being more accepting of whatever is. Not being so fearful of things getting out of hand, but letting them go out of hand and then dealing with them. It's okay. Start to face your fear. Teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. A tree roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane. Whereas a rigid structure like a building, the force, would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now, willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. In every relationship, it's important to be open to new experience and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity, this thing here, rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when we meet halfway. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with the rhymes. I'm usually not going around and rhyming, but everything seems to be a rhyme these days. Maybe some of my guides have been poets or rhymers. Okay, so Wild Kuan-Yin Oracle. Priestess of perfect pairing makes the match. So if you're swearing over your marriage or your relationships, this card wants to let you know that it's just perfect because this is how you learn. You're projecting, you're seeing yourself in the other person. So the more you are being able to like embrace that other person, accept that they are the way they are, the more you can accept also yourself. I see the true nature of all beings and bring to them their perfect match to see, so that the journey of love may be experienced. Those currently in your life and those just now entering your world are there by my design. Ask for me to show you the purpose behind the pairing, and you shall learn to trust in my wisdom and compassion. You are now blessed with my loving grace in all matters of relationship and connection. Surrender any issue within relationship to me, and I shall intervene to create the perfect pairing. So what did they say? Ask for me to show you the purpose behind the pairing. That's much like the Nine of Cups here with the Temperance and the Lovers card. Ask and you should be given. So prayer is something that came out for you, but also to be more brave and do new things, go outside your comfort zone, or at least dream about going outside your comfort zone and feel your heart racing and and feeling your nervous stomach, and stay with that and digest that, and then we'll see if you can maybe step into your dreams here during the spring. Okay, so beautiful, Taurus. I hope this helped. I want to welcome you back to my second part of February reading that I will perform in the beginning of February. Okay, bye bye.